Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show, live on WBON-TV Channel 9 and on radio at V99.3, Sports Radio 103.5 and Y92.5. Support your favorite local teams and enjoy the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Also brought to you by Bishop Small Engine Repair, Nuevo Vallarta, and the law offices of Patrick O'Neill. Now let's go live to your hosts, Michael Watkins and Samantha Burford.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome in to the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, and thank you for joining us here on another Monday night in Richmond as we recap a lot of sports from over the weekend, a very busy sports weekend here in the area with EKU having multiple games. Of course, Madison Central playing in the region championship game for football. And basketball for the high school level is right around the corner. We are going to start, though, with that Madison Central football game. Indians traveling to Louisville to take on the Class 6A two-time defending champion, the Trinity Shamrocks out of Louisville. And, man, what a start to the game for the Indians. First of all, the bus doesn't get there until about 45 minutes before kickoff. So you might think, man, that could be something that could slow down this Madison Central team. Well, it did not. The Indians, on the second play of the game, first play of the game, was a offsides against Trinity. So it's 1st and 5, Central at the 26-yard line, and Quincy Compton takes a pitch out from Carson Herbst and takes it 74 yards for a touchdown on the first play of the game, technically. What a tremendous start for Central. How about Quincy Compton? We know this kid is fast. He was outrunning some superb athletes from the other side in Trinity, and just his burst of speed getting by those guys. Compton with a great start to the game for the Indians, but it did not last long as Trinity would show how good they are. Man, this football team for the Shamrocks is loaded, and it starts with their quarterback. We'll talk about him in just a minute. But for the Indians, season comes to an end. They battled throughout, and that was one thing that I think Coach William Blair will be so proud of, and these Madison Central fans can be so proud of. They did not stop fighting from the opening play and that offsides against Trinity to the very final whistle. The Indians did not bow down to the number one team in Class 6A. You could throw RPI out the window. Trinity is the number one team in Class 6A. They'll show you that. They go on the road to St. X this Friday. And good luck stopping them. I know St. X is a good football team too, but the Shamrocks, they have got talent all over the field, and they put that all on display Friday night. Some final stats for the Indians in this final game. Talking about Quincy Compton, he led the team with 9 carries, 85 yards, and a touchdown. Carson Herbst, the quarterback, had a couple of nice plays running the ball, had that one completion to Christian Lawson for 18 yards, but he ran the ball 7 times for 83 yards and a touchdown. Corinthian Barnes had a couple of scores, 13 carries, 81 yards for the fullback for the Indians. And Davion DeBruce, 11 carries, 59 yards. Central runs for 308 yards against the Shamrocks, but they could not slow them down on defense. Listen to some of these numbers for Zane Johnson, who came into the game with 39 touchdown passes to only 3 interceptions, 89 touchdowns in his career going into that game against Central. And the quarterback who has an offer from EKU, and let me tell you right now, if the Colonels can get this kid in the maroon and white, he has the potential to be a 4-year starter. That is how good Zane Johnson is in this game for the Shamrocks. 11 of 12 through the air, 1 incompletion, 265 passing yards, 6 touchdown passes for Zane Johnson, 4 completions to Cross Watson, who had 127 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. He had a touchdown to Jace Duvall, 1 to Caleb Warner, and 1 to Jason Hagan. And the Shamrocks looked really, really good. They looked like the best team in Class 6A. But again, what a tremendous season for Coach William Blair and the Indians. What a terrific run. They took us on another deep postseason run for Madison Central. And they are going to lose a lot of key guys. They bring a lot of guys back, but they lose a lot of key guys. Some of my favorite players to watch. I've been doing games for Madison Central now for about 11 or 12 years. And some of these kids that I've gotten to know on this team, and you get close to a team. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. there are certain teams, certain players you just fall in love with, and this team was one of those. And obviously, the winning helped, but when you got kids like Carson Herbst and Camden Burke, who may be one of my favorite players I've ever got to talk to at the high school level, you look at what Quincy Compton, Corinthian Barnes, Derek McElwee, Moose, what a fantastic player. And I get it, he's not the biggest linebacker, but if a team would just put on the film and watched how good Moose McElwee is, you would be so impressed with this kid. I mean, he is, and Coach Blair's talked about it. He came into his own this year. He's made plays his entire career, but this year he was a dominant force defensively. Liam Daly, William Snell. I mean, we could go on and on and on. There were so many fun players to watch this year. Christian Lawson, again, another one. They have a lot of talent coming back, but seeing some of these kids and seeing their careers come to an end, and we get it, everybody, there's only one team happy at the end of the year. But, man, this team was so much fun to watch. And you look at some of the guys that they do have coming back. Carson Herbst this year, 6 touchdown passes on the season, 9 touchdown runs. He's coming back, so you bring your quarterback next season. We'll be back in the fold. Corinthian Barnes, who this year ran for 22 touchdowns, 1,471 yards. He'll be back next season along with Jeff Harrison, Javius Fields, Canterbury. Offensively, they bring a lot of guys back, along with Wiley Mathis. Bronson Parker's another kid that'll be coming back next year. So while you do lose a lot, there is a lot coming back. And I will forget somebody, but this team, so much fun to watch. I really appreciate Coach Blair and all the guys for letting us be a part of it. Just some of the numbers for this team. Liam Daly leads them in tackles, 122. McElwee with 15 tackles for loss, 108 tackles overall. Colton Johnson was big. Gavin Kinley is another kid that's coming back next year. Offense, defense, doesn't matter where you put him. He makes plays. So they've got a lot of guys that are coming back next season that I'm going to look forward to. But I hate to see this one come to an end. I hate to see some of these kids that I've really gotten to know over the last 2 or 3 years now have their high school career coming to an end. The only thing we can do now is celebrate them. What a terrific run this year for Madison Central. Looking back on some of the big plays, not only for the Indians this year, but also for Madison Southern. We're going to look at a little highlight reel we put together of some of the biggest plays and exciting moments from throughout the 2025 football season for both Madison Southern and Madison Central. As we go to our commercial break, here's a long highlight reel highlighting some of the biggest moments from this past year in high school football. At the 10, lost it, got it back. Here comes Jeff.
He's got a crease.
Got a big hole, and Harrison's got nobody to beat. What a way to kick off the season for Madison Central. A 90-yard return.
No flag.
Jeff Harrison. backfield, chucks it into the end zone. Lawson goes up to haul it in.
High snap, and he's going to be tackled for a loss. Yes.
Fumbled snap. Beard gets it back, and he's going to throw it deep. Receiver's going to come back and make a catch, and he's going to get into the end zone. What a play there by David McCoy, the junior wide coming across. He throws over the middle. It's picked off. Interception by David McCoy, I believe.
They send Hairston in motion, give it to Barnes, touchdown! Corinthian Barnes.
Fakes the handoff, and Beard keeps it. He's stuck at the one. Spin move, and he's in! Pistol formation. Beard takes the snap, gets it to the Shields on the left side, and he gets in the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles. Pistol formation. Hand off to the Shields. Oh, reverse the haul. And he's going to get to the edge. Great blocking there by Gabe Thompson. Breaks it free for the touchdown, Eagles.
So 1st and 20 as they give it to
Inside
Barnes.
trap.
Barnes breaks a tackle. Corinthian, a first down and more. Across the 35, down to the 30. Barnes lowers his shoulder as he gets into the red zone. And a big play for Corinthian Barnes as he shows you just what he is able to do. Carson Herbst will hand it off. It's Quincy Compton. Compton breaks through the hole, breaks a tackle, spins away, and Compton breaks a long one at the 40. You are not going to catch Quincy Compton. Feet don't fail me now. A touchdown. Goes into the shotgun now on 1st and 10. Christian out to the wide right. We'll see what they do here. They're going to fake it, and Carson's got Lawson wide open, throws it, and Lawson makes the catch. Christian trying to add to the total. He will take it the distance. Touchdown.
Let's go, Christian. Let's go.
Lawson, he was wide open. Herbst didn't see him the first time. He faked a pass to the sideline, checked it over the middle, and nobody within 10 yards of Christian Lawson, who takes it 54 yards to the house. Carson goes to Barnes. Corinthian working on a 4-touchdown night. On his birthday, he will celebrate in style.
When you grow up in Richmond, there are 2 traditions you know by heart.
Jack Burford Chevrolet and EKU football.
Jack Burford Chevrolet isn't just a place to buy a car. It's where generations of Central Kentucky families have started their journey.
More than just a school, EKU is the heartbeat of this town, a cornerstone where tradition, pride, and a winning spirit come together.
Jack Burford Chevrolet and EKU football. 2 Richmond icons, 1 winning tradition.
We would like to invite you to join our family at Bishop's Small Engine Repair.
Outdoor Power has become a family tradition, with 3 generations here bringing you years of experience.
We will help you find the best selection of outdoor power equipment from Code Cadet, Grasshopper, DeWalt, Makita, Echo, Shindawa, and now Steel in our Georgetown store.
Or bring your equipment into our service department. We will keep it running for years to come.
And as with all families, we have to keep Mama happy. So come on in and see us at Bishop's Small Engine Repair in Richmond and in Georgetown.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best fajitas in town. Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Have you heard about JB's Grow Shop? They are one of the most unique businesses in Richmond. If you're a farmer or gardener, then you and JB's Grow Shop will make a great team. They provide the highest quality organic soils, nutrients, castings, and much more to meet your indoor and outdoor growing needs. Their experts will meet with you and make sure that you are getting the most out of your homegrown plants. JB's Grow Shop is located in the Southern Hills Plaza Shopping Center at 956 Commercial Drive in Richmond.
Our bodies deserve more. We put them through a lot, and oftentimes the aches and the stress of everyday life can take a toll. Escape all of that and enter your sanctuary of relaxation with a trip to the massage studio in Berea. Unwind, rejuvenate, and restore balance to your body and mind with help from their expert massage therapist. Like the Massage Studio on Facebook for more information, and get back to being you. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you tuning us in here tonight on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. We were talking about Madison Central there in our opening segment as the football season comes to an end for the Indians, as does the season come to an end for the EKU Colonels. The Colonels ended the season strong with a 33-10 road victory over Utah Tech on Saturday night. Really pleased with how our guys came out to play, said head coach Walt Wells following the win. Really pleased with how our guys ran the ball. Our defense was lights out, and I was happy how they stayed focused and just kept going after Utah Tech. It's the final trip to Utah for Coach Walt Wells and the Colonels as the conference splits into two. So that's a big deal to go on the road, finish off this season with a win, and finish off those trips to Utah with a win as well. The Colonels' defense was strong all night long, holding the Trailblazers to only 197 yards of total offense and 3 of 11 on third downs. The Maroon Doom was also able to add a sack, a strip sack, and a fumble recovery, a safety, and a pick six in that win. The defense, which has been so good all year long, once again putting it all on display. The offensive efficiency showed in the time of possession, with the Colonels holding possession for 37 minutes and 2 seconds to Utah Tech's 22 minutes and 58 seconds. On offense, Braden Latham rushed for a season-high 113 yards on 23 carries, while Miles Burkett threw for 130, going 12 of 19 through the air and throwing for a pair of touchdowns. In a loaded stat sheet defensively, Frank Lee, Braden Sullivan each have sacks, with Sullivan's producing that fumble recovered by Caden Smith. Gabe Stevens recorded a safety, and Jaheim Ward capped off his terrific campaign with a pick six. What a tremendous season he has had. Another one of those important defensive guys. Sullivan and Jaquez McGowan led the Colonels with 7 total tackles each. And while it was a win, we hate to see the season come to an end, but glad the Colonels could finish on a high note. The win sees EKU ends its season 5-7 for the year and 3-5 in the UAC. And congratulations to Coach Walt Wells for capping off a good year and ending it with that victory. Some of the scores, looking how it happened. Utah Tech got on the board first with a 12-yard pass from their quarterback, completing it. A 75-yard drive that took 7 plays and took 3:14 off the clock. The Colonels were able to answer quickly with a Jaden West receiving touchdown. Former Madison Central player making a big play. Jacoby Hughes had an 18-yard touchdown catch. And in the second half, it was Brady Hensley getting on the board with a 9-yard touchdown run. Him and Latham being that 1-2 combination in the backfield was really good this year, and would love to see those guys back next year doing that same thing. But the Colonels go on to win 33-10. A couple of field goals from Buzz Flaviano. He played well. Again, they had the safety. Jaheim Ward's 37-yard touchdown on the interception return. And the Colonels close out the year with a victory and go to 5-7 on the season. There's been a lot of buzz surrounding the EKU football team when you look at how the season ended. About midway through the year, when you have those losses to Louisville and Marshall, you lose to Tarleton State on homecoming, you had that long winning streak at home come to an end. And then you lose a couple of more games at home following that. A lot of highs and lows throughout the EKU football season. But we're all of us who love EKU football, we're all trying to, man, what can we do? What do we need to do different as we go forward? And I'll be honest with you, I don't think there's a whole lot that needs to change. Offensively, I think some new creativity could be something that we could look at. But listen, you can only do so much, especially with the amount of time you have between training camp and everything, getting the season started. It really takes 3 or 4 games to build chemistry and to have these guys out there. One thing that Coach Wells talked about during his press conference last week was maybe some of the changes that we could see going forward. There's a lot of things that I think the Colonels could do differently as they do go forward. We'll see if they are able to do those, as Walt Wells talked about them on Tuesday. He talked about as they go out and start recruiting, things you can do. Listen, the Criminal Justice Department at EKU is a big recruiting tool. Coach Wells talked about that, and he also talked about maybe some scheduling changes. You know, the transfer portal is now down to 1 window. What does that mean for programs? How can they use that to their advantage? Can you go out and maybe play some scrimmage games? Maybe that's something that they could look at. And Coach Wells is saying, hey, listen, let's really adapt this NFL model that we've looked at, that we're kind of already doing some of the things. Let's fully adapt it. Let's hear from Coach Walt Wells from his press conference last week about some things that could be going on with the program as the season now comes to an end.
Guys know if I want to, I mean, they know I want to keep them. I mean, I'm not big in cutting people. I'm not big in, I mean, I've done it and will continue to do it, obviously. But I'm not big in doing that. And then with people leaving, I understand the opportunities that are out there that we can't match sometimes. And that's hard to do. And, but they know how I feel about them. And we'll have those meetings next week before Thanksgiving. Now that we have that opportunity, since we're not going to the playoffs, and express those feelings to negatively and positively. And that's the bad thing about the business now, is a lot of the pure development is tough. It's hard to be a young kid, come in and, I could sit here and count numbers and numbers and numbers of guys, Keith, that here at Western, at New Mexico State, even South Florida, that, you just keep around and let them marinate, and, they mature. And then the next thing you know, they have a 2-year career. And if you're a 2-year starter, that's a really good career, to be honest with you. And people don't think of that anymore like that. But those days are sadly, they're slowly going away, because, you have to have guys ready to go. And because, when my guys get taken, I got to replace with somebody that has the experience and the ability to do what they did, at least. And so that's the hard part of the business right now. I do think it is a draw. And, my experience here over the years, a lot of football players used to go into law enforcement of some type, you know what I mean? And so, we've got state troopers, we got FBI agents, we got Secret Service agents, we've got people that work in the cyber world and do all that type of stuff. So, I think, and we've got guys in, like I said, Buzz Flabiano's family has been involved in, I can't remember, either FBI or Secret Service. And that was a draw to him. I mean, here's a guy that was a 2-year starter at UTEP. And so he had a lot of people recruiting him, but it was a draw for him because he wanted that education, and he did his research and realized that, hey man, this is a good institution for that degree, and one of the best in the nation, if not the best, year in and year out. And so I think it is a draw, and it's good for people. We work with them on things. We do a lot of that. I'd say we probably have 6 or 8 in it right now. And I think that's big for them. I think, and I understand your question, and I think it could work, Dick, in the fact that they have changed the portal to 1 window. So now, once January the 16th is over, okay, your team should be pretty much set. And so it just depends on how you create that team and what you have to create it with. Now that's the difficulty of it because of the the rev sharing and the scholarships and how you can do things. Some people may front load their team and not have as big of a team in the back end. Some teams may go even with it and do it that way. So it depends on how you're managing your roster and what you can bring in. And some it doesn't matter because they've got all the money in the world and they can have as many guys on scholarship as they need to and still be able, in the fall and in the spring. So it is a little bit of that going on. I would think a game in the spring or a game in the, summer, even in my opinion, like the NFL model, is something that would help these teams. I mean, I just look at the University of Georgia, and I hadn't studied them. Obviously, I don't have time, but you'll follow the scores and everything. They started off a little slow this year. And even though they only lost one game, they started off, a little slow. And now they're playing at a high level. And if they probably would have had some scrimmages or games or whatever you want to call them with other universities, they could work those kinks out. And I think we've got to understand, either it's got to happen in the spring on how we do this portal thing, or it's got to happen in the fall because, we're doing everything like the NFL. Why not go to that NFL model? Why not give us OTAs and all that stuff in the spring? Why not give us everything? Now, I do think we should be able to go out and pad some because we're still 17 to 22-year-olds. And the development phase is getting in those pads and doing some things. And that's the biggest difference from the NFL model where we're at. But I think you'll see some things like that coming down the pike as we move forward because coaches are going to get over, hey, they're going to see my players and try to take. Now they can't. Now if we go play somebody in the spring or in the summer, they can't take your players. So, they're technically not. Now, I also understand, Dick, if they decide to sue right now, everybody that says I'm going to sue, they get what they want and we move forward and we change the rule. It was going to be 5 for 5, right? Then it was going to be, no, they're not going 5 for 5. Then I think it was a basketball guy sued, and now it looks like we're going to be 5 for 5, which means, 5 years to play 5.
Right. So,
to me, it just, why not just sue and then for everything and then get it the way we want to get it, because we can't do that, but the schools that have the influence do that and set the rules. And that's kind of the issue we're getting into. It's a very loaded, good question, but very loaded question that, now with one portal window, and even if you graduate like in the spring, you can't go in the portal until the next year in January. So now going and playing somebody in the spring, well, they're not going to say, dang, that guy played really well against us. So let's get him and come play on our team. We can pay him more than Eastern Kentucky can. And so, that is, how do I say it? That is the challenge that is at our level. Just like I said, last year, I had an offensive guard who was going to play tackle, who was a freshman All-American, and he's going through spring ball, and some agent reaches out to him, and 3 days later, he's in the portal and ends up at Purdue. I can't match it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you've got all these things, PFF, you get all the, they get PFF grades. Well, PFF doesn't know what the grades are, whether they're right or wrong, and you got all these other people grading and saying, hey, here, the biggest thing they do is these agents do, Dick, is they look at the all-conference winners, the all-American winners, the all this, and then they just start going after them.
So who knows? It's an exciting time. And listen, I think it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're the head coach at Georgia right now or you're the head coach at EKU, everybody is still trying to figure out this transfer portal. And as Coach Wells said, a lot of these guys that are at these bigger upper echelon programs, they can just sit back and watch our guys have tremendous seasons, then just pick them up. I mean, that's just what we've seen over the last couple of years. So finding a way to navigate that is going to be very important as we go forward, not only to next season for EKU football, but years to come. And listen, if you're a fan, you got to get involved with this Maroon Fund. You've got to find a way. If you've got an extra $20 that you're not going to use, give it to the Maroon Fund. Let's try to all pitch in and find ways to build this program up. And listen, it takes money. It does. That's just the day and age that we are living in. So let's see if we can all pitch in and try to find a way to help us get a superstar wide receiver, or maybe it's a new quarterback, or whatever the case might be. We all have to kind of do our part to help Coach Wells and the program figure out how to move forward with EKU football. Don't give up on them, though, folks. Do not give up on Wells and the coaching staff. Congratulations, Eastern gets that victory, and we'll look forward to an off season, and I'm sure we'll be talking to Coach a lot as we go into next year. We'll step aside for another commercial break. It wasn't just EKU football working over the weekend. EKU men's basketball, women's basketball, and the volleyball team were all in action as well. We'll look at those matchups when we come back on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
When you grow up in Richmond, there are two traditions you know by heart.
Jack Burford Chevrolet and EKU football.
Jack Burford Chevrolet isn't just a place to buy a car. It's where generations of Central Kentucky families have started their journey.
More than just a school, EKU is the heartbeat of this town, a cornerstone where tradition, pride, and a winning spirit come together.
Jack Burford Chevrolet and EKU football. Two Richmond icons, one winning tradition.
We would like to invite you to join our family at Bishop's Small Engine Repair.
Outdoor Power has become a family tradition, with 3 generations here bringing you years of experience.
We will help you find the best selection of outdoor power equipment from Code Cadet, Grasshopper, DeWalt, Makita, Echo, Shindawa, and now Steel in our Georgetown store.
Or bring your equipment into our service department. We will keep it running for years to come.
And as with all families, we have to keep Mama happy. So come on in and see us at Bishop's Small Engine Repair in Richmond and in Georgetown.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best fajitas in town. Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Have you heard about JB's Grow Shop? They are one of the most unique businesses in Richmond. If you're a farmer or gardener, then you and JB's Grow Shop will make a great team. They provide the highest quality organic soils, nutrients, castings, and much more to meet your indoor and outdoor growing needs. Their experts will meet with you and make sure that you are getting the most out of your homegrown plants. JB's Grow Shop is located in the Southern Hills Plaza Shopping Center at 956 Commercial Drive in Richmond.
Our bodies deserve more. We put them through a lot, and oftentimes the aches and the stress of everyday life can take a toll. Escape all of that and enter your sanctuary of relaxation with a trip to the massage studio in Berea. Unwind, rejuvenate, and restore balance to your body and mind with help from their expert massage therapist. Like the Massage Studio on Facebook for more information, and get back to being you. Welcome back into the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Michael Watkins here with you on this Monday night as we inch closer to Thanksgiving holiday. And man, I love this time of year with football and turkey. I'm not a big turkey guy, but ham, cranberry sauce, got the rolls, all the fixings, the mashed potatoes, the macaroni and cheese. I'm making myself hungry just thinking about it. But this time of year, So much fun to be a sports fan. You get to spend time with your friends and family, maybe get a day or two off of work. Really, really fun time of year, especially now as we go into the Christmas season. That's my favorite time of year. Looking forward to that. As for the EKU men's basketball team, the Colonels were in action against Mercer, and the EKU men's basketball team saw Mercer break a first half tie with a 22-4 run, and the Colonels could never overcome the deficit in a 95-83 loss on Saturday at Baptist Health Arena. Juan Cranford Jr. scored a team-high 18 points for the Colonels, who fall to 1-4 after beginning the season with a victory at Midway. Eastern now has lost 4 straight games. They're back in action tonight. We'll get to that here in a moment. Jackson Holt and Tyler Jackson each had 12 points for Eastern, and Mercer seized control of the game with a big first-half run after the Colonels tied it at 23 on a jumper and free throw from Holt. With 10:56 to go in the first period, the Bears answered with their 22-4 run. Mercer connected on 5 3-pointers during the spurt. A layup from Zaire Williams with 5:04 on the clock capped it and gave the visitors an 18-point lead. It was a rough shooting day for EKU, and for Mercer, they came into this game shooting just 28% from beyond the arc, and they were incredible shooting 3-pointers on Saturday. The Bears shot 56% for the game, finishing 13 for 23 from beyond the arc for 57%. EKU just 41% from the field. Quentin Perkins II hit 4 3-pointers and had 20 points for Mercer, 18 of those coming in the first half. Armani Mighty was a beast for the Bears with 13 points and 12 rebounds, and now the Colonels will head to Northern Kentucky tonight. But before we recap or look ahead to that game, let's hear from A.W. Hamilton, a pair of EKU basketball players following the loss from Saturday.
Gotta be able to put 40 minutes together as a whole game, like not after the second half or after the first half when we come out for the second half, like the whole game we just gotta put it together and then come up the outcome.
I'm sure the coaching staff had a great scout. They always do. Their team was only shooting 29% on the season from 3, and they hit 9 of their first 13. So it's kind of, I guess, maybe throws the scout out the window, I guess, at that point.
Yes, sir. I mean, yeah, it's difficult when, like you said, they shoot 29% and then they proceed to shoot. For the game, 56%, 13 to 23. That's kind of an outlier number, but, kudos to them. They hit their shots. We just got to learn from this and keep moving forward.
Cranford, you had 18, it was like 30-1 today. It's a pretty good game. Just a few words on your performance tonight.
Just keep going, just as game by game, this confidence getting there, just it's getting better and better, I'm giving what the defense give me, so I'm just taking the open shot, being aggressive, in those spots, those situations.
And after the opener, this has been a tough stretch of games, man. These were all good Division I opponents. So I saw the frustration on your face when you walked off the court. But I mean, it's still early. It's 5 games in, but I'm sure you guys would like to get some W's on the board there.
Yeah, like you said, it still is early. We're just frustrated because we know we can do. We know we can do. We know we work on every day. We know we're capable of. Things are going to get better. I know they will. Juan know they will. The team knows they will. We just got to go back to the drawing board. Just keep getting better each and every day. Just keep hammering down our principles, our foundation, and we'll get the results that we're looking for.
Give Mercer credit. I thought in the first half they played lights out. They haven't shot like that all season, and they go 9 for 15 in the first half, and we end up having a 15-point deficit. And in the second half, we made some adjustments on some ball screen coverages, and they broke us down a little bit too much in the half court, which was very disappointing. Our ball screen coverages early weren't great, and we gave them some rhythm threes that we didn't want to give them. And then we made some undisciplined plays. We're raking in some gaps where we didn't really rake in. So, but give them credit. I thought they came out. I thought they were the more physical team in the first half. They were bumping us off every cut. They were making every post entry tough. They were pushing Mont off the block. And, once we settled in the second half, we played much better, and we gave ourselves a chance. Just when we kept cutting the lead, they won every 50-50 ball. They got those extra offensive rebounds. They got us on a free throw box out. So those things are disappointing.
There was one possession where I think they had five shots up or something.
It's tough to keep playing defense when that happens, So, but give them credit. I thought they played extremely physical. I love their big kid. He did a heck of a job, and he bothered Mont a little bit early in the game, and then Mont settled in. So, but I told Mont at halftime, I was like, we need you to score. I thought Mont early in the game was just looking to pass, and we need Mont to, attack the middle and try to score the basketball for us. He's a high percentage player. He shoots over 50% from the field. So, and that was kind of the jump that Cozart made. Year one, Cozart wasn't looking to score. Year two, Cozart started attacking to score, and Mont's ready for that. He's just got to believe it.
A team that comes in shooting 29% from three, and they hit 9 of their first 13.
And Michael and I talked about it in the pregame. We wanted to protect the paint and make them try to beat us from the three-point line, but that doesn't mean you just give up rhythm threes. You can't give them wide open ones, and we gave them like 4 or 5 wide open ones in the first half.
Like you said, I think you got it back to 10 at one point there, and you had a 3 and a steal and a 3, and they got it to 10, I think. But maybe if you'd gotten into single digits and got the crowd into it, then maybe you could get some momentum there. But it seemed like you said, every time got something going, they had an answer.
They did, and it was the offensive rebounds, the extra possessions, beating us to 50-50 balls. So, but again, give them credit.
But one of the things you said during the pregame was you wanted to force more turnovers. How do you feel like you guys did that? I know you forced more than you had, but did you reach the number you wanted to reach?
Well, listen, the effort wasn't a problem tonight. The effort wasn't. The effort was a problem at Kent State. It was, and that hurt. There's games like this every year where a team is going to shoot lights out, and it's just one of those days. It was Mercer just had that day, but the effort was there for us. The fight was there for us. We come out with 18 offensive rebounds. That's a lot of offensive rebounds. The offensive rebounding percentage was through the roof. So our guys were fighting and competing, and we turned them over some, and I think our deflections were up from the last couple games, so I was happy with that. But again, the half-court breakdowns late in the game where we just couldn't keep the ball in front of us and keep them out of the paint, that ended up killing us.
It's a tough little stretch here. You guys, except for the opening game, this has all been quality Division I opponents here. And you got Northern on Monday, so it doesn't really get any easier, but you guys are testing yourself early.
Well, we've been through this before, and this is going to help us when we get to league play, and we'll be better for it. And I told the kids, I hate losing. I hate it for them because they did fight, and they did compete like crazy. But we just got to clean up some stuff. But we'll continue to get better.
Cranford had a good scoring game today. Just, what did you think about it?
Well, I told them at halftime, you got to quit passing up so many shots. He had like 4 or 5 shots in the first half where they could have been rhythm shots. He was passing them up. So, he's just got to understand how we want him to play, with the freedom that we want him to play with. He's super talented. He's a high efficient player. He shot over 56% from 2 last year, over 40% from the 3. He had a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. He's a high percentage player. So we need him to take more shots.
When you have a game where you're not hitting those open shots, a lot of open ones in that first half that just didn't go down, what do you tell the team at halftime? Do you change anything, or do you take all those shots just fall?
Well, we changed some stuff because they were being so physical on our thumbs action, our 5-out offense. And so we had to adjust on some things. But I just told the guys we made some adjustments defensively, how we were guarding the ball screen. And I said we just got to stay the course and keep our pressure up, because we felt like at some point we could wear them down. And we gave ourselves a chance, but again, it's the offensive rebounds, the 50-50 balls, the couple blow-bys late in the second half, and end up killing us.
It is a quick turnaround for the Colonels as they will play at Northern Kentucky tonight with a 7 p.m. tip-off. EKU 1-4 following that loss to Mercer on Saturday. And the Colonels' last 2 games, Jackson Holt is averaging 11 points, 3 rebounds, and 1.5 assists while shooting 50% from the field and 45% from the three-point line. He was actually inserted into the starting lineup before the matchup with Mercer. Over the last two games for Juan Cranford Jr., he is averaging 16 points per game on 43% shooting from the field. And the Colonels had 16 assists on 30 made field goals against Mercer. It was the most assists this season against a Division I opponent. So they did share the ball well. As for Northern, they are 3-2 this season with two non-Division I wins and a 90-66 victory at Central Michigan from Thursday. The losses by the Norse were at Tennessee and East Tennessee. They are averaging 87.2 points per game while shooting 50% from the field and are forcing 17.8 turnovers per game on 12.6 steals per contest. They've got a really good basketball team, and the Colonels have got to be able to go on the road and shoot much better than they did in the loss to Mercer on Saturday. EKU leads the all-time series 7-6 versus Northern Kentucky. The Norse are 4-0 against the Colonels in Highland Heights. The first meeting between the two programs was back in 1977. EKU and NKU did not play between 1992 and 2017, but since renewing the series in 2017, the teams have met 6 times. After falling behind by 14 points with less than 15 minutes left in the game, EKU staged a furious comeback attempt, but couldn't overcome NKU in an 85-75 loss on December 17th of 2023 in Richmond. That was the last time the two played. Isaiah Cozart in that game, 24 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 blocks for Eastern in the loss. No Isaiah Cozart tonight, but the Colonels do have Montavious Myrick, who's been a very, very good basketball player and has gotten better each and every single year in the maroon and white. Look for him and maybe even Turner Buttrey to break out and have a big game tonight for EKU. We'll step aside and we'll be right back, folks. When we come back, we'll talk about the EKU women who played in a basketball game. And then we also had EKU volleyball in action over the weekend as well. We'll talk about that and more when we come back on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
When you grow up in Richmond, there are 2 traditions you know by heart.
Jack Burford Chevrolet and EKU football.
Jack Burford Chevrolet isn't just a place to buy a car. It's where generations of Central Kentucky families have started their journey.
More than just a school, EKU is the heartbeat of this town, a cornerstone where tradition, pride, and a winning spirit come together.
Jack Burford Chevrolet and EKU football. 2 Richmond icons, 1 winning tradition.
We would like to invite you to join our family at Bishop's Small Engine Repair.
Outdoor Power has become a family tradition, with 3 generations here bringing you years of experience.
We will help you find the best selection of outdoor power equipment from Code Cadet, Grasshopper, DeWalt, Makita, Echo, Shindawa, and now still in our Georgetown store.
Or bring your equipment into our service department. We will keep it running for years to come.
And as with all families, we have to keep Mama happy. So come on in and see us at Bishop's Small Engine Repair in Richmond and in Georgetown.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best fajitas in town. Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Have you heard about JB's Grow Shop? They are one of the most unique businesses in Richmond. If you're a farmer or gardener, then you and JB's Grow Shop will make a great team. They provide the highest quality organic soils, nutrients, castings, and much more to meet your indoor and outdoor growing needs. Their experts will meet with you and make sure that you are getting the most out of your homegrown plants. JB's Grow Shop is located in the Southern Hills Plaza Shopping Center at 956 Commercial Drive in Richmond.
Our bodies deserve more. We put them through a lot, and oftentimes the aches and the stress of everyday life can take a toll. Escape all of that and enter your sanctuary of relaxation with a trip to the massage studio in Berea. Unwind, rejuvenate, and restore balance to your body and mind with help from their expert massage therapist. Like the Massage Studio on Facebook for more information, and get back to being you. Back here to close out the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show with you. Michael Watkins here on this Monday night, and the EKU volleyball team, the number 3 seed, lost to the number 4 seeded Central Arkansas Bears in the championship match of the A-Sun Conference Volleyball Tournament on Saturday down in Fort Myers, Florida. Central Arkansas won by scores of 25-21, 25-18, 21-25, and 25-21 to get the victory. With EKU leading 11-10 in the first set, Central Arkansas put together a run to take control, able to win that set, and the Sugar Bears used another big run to take control in the second set before finally able to close it out in the fourth set and get the victory. So disappointing loss in the A-Sun championship game for Coach Gianna Bazzani. We'll talk to her tomorrow, and we'll have a full report with her about that matchup and about this terrific season and her contract extension, which we told you about last Monday. We'll have that on tomorrow's Sports Report. But a tough way to end the season for the EKU volleyball team. A tremendous run into the A-Sun championship. As for the EKU women's basketball team, the Colonels, a big victory over Midway, the NAIA program coming down to take on the Colonels on Saturday. EKU's Liz Freihofer was named the Atlantic Sun Conference Player of the Week, and her teammate Jo Vaz has been selected the A-Sun Newcomer of the Week following wins over North Dakota and Midway this past week for the Colonels women's basketball team. EKU has now had 3 different players receive 3 different weekly conference honors this season, and Monday's award marks the 11th weekly conference honor of Freihofer's career and her second A-Sun Player of the Week recognition. Vaz earned her first career A-Sun Newcomer of the Year award. Freihofer turned in one of the top performances of her career with a career-high 27 points in the win over Midway on Saturday. She had a tremendous week as well with a big win or a big performance against North Dakota. She added 6 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and 1 block in the win on Saturday. And for the week, the Union Kentucky native averaged 19.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1.5 steals while hitting 9 3-pointers and shooting 48% from the field. As of Monday, Freihofer ranks top 8 in the NCAA and leads the A-Sun Conference in made 3-pointers and 3-pointers per game. Vaz, who looked really good against Midway as well, had a double-double. A senior forward from Cape Verde also delivered one of the strongest stretches of her career, totaling 35 points and 19 rebounds across EKU's 2 wins, averaging 17.5 points and 9.5 rebounds while shooting 54%. And the Colonels will travel to Morehead State and take on their longtime rival and their current new head coach. Miss Feldhouse is their head coach. So that'll be a fun one coming up on Wednesday. A noon tip-off for Morehead State and EKU Wednesday afternoon. So if you're wanting some appetizers for the Thanksgiving turkey and all that fun stuff, you can have fun with EKU women's basketball as they play Morehead State the day before Turkey Day. And you can catch that game over on EKUsports.com. Thanks for hanging out with us here, folks. So glad to be with you. Hope you and your family enjoy a safe and a great time on Thanksgiving. We'll be with you next Monday to get you ready for high school basketball in the area that will begin the following week. So be sure to tune in to next week's show. But for now, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.